Welcome, Kevin Whitewood from the British Touring Car Chat. Thank you very much for coming on the show and getting involved. But yeah, how are you?
Yeah, good. Thanks, Louis. Thanks for inviting me. Much appreciated.
No worries at all. So I wanted to start by asking you, when did you first, become interested in motorsport?
Oh, that's an easy one, really. I mean, I was a Formula One fan for a long time since I was probably about 5, 6 years old. My old man used to take me to Brands Hatch. God, we're talking 80s,
Yeah,
early 80s now, but yeah, we used to go there every year. We'd go on a qualifying day, from what I remember. 'Cause it was obviously cheaper.
yeah,
My brother and myself, my dad would go sit in the grandstands and watch the Formula One. It's progressed over to touring cars, probably back in sort of 90s, 1990, 1991.
yeah,
Sort of getting into the John Cleland era.
yeah. Absolutely. Well, I was going to ask, how did you how and when did you get, come across British touring cars? Because I presume that's become sort of one of your favourite championships to follow.
Yeah, I got into it, as I say, with watching the Astras, the
Yeah,
Cavaliers. That was sort of my sort of age of getting into it. Sort of when I left school, into my cars, getting heavily into motorsport, and yeah, and it's just gone from there.
yeah. And obviously, you said, you started off by watching Formula One. Was that always sort of your favourite? Was that sort of your main sort of, following in motorsport, or were there other championships that you were into as well?
It was, I think, from a young age. My dad was really into the F1,
Yeah,
so that sort of rubbed off. So obviously, you go with your dad to motorsport events and things like that. So, and then yeah, so when I got to my teenage years, you sort of diverse into other things. But it's mainly been Formula One,
yeah.
and then predominantly lately it's the touring cars.
Mm.
I've not really watched. I watch occasionally the rallies, but it is touring cars. It always comes back to the
Yeah,
BTCC.
yeah, for sure. And you obviously said you've been following it from a young age. What stands out to you as sort of some of your favorite motorsport memories from over the years?
I think just the close racing. You got the epic battles. Soper.
Yeah,
Just the close racing. That's what draws it to me, and it is the old saying that you race on a Sunday, buy a car on a Monday. It's that old sort of saying that you can relate to the cars, the shape, what you see on the road. Although it's not the same, it's that the bodywork is the same. It looks the same as a road car. That's what appeals.
yeah. It's interesting, really, with British touring cars, because in the '90s we had the very famous super touring era. Would you say that was the best era of British touring cars?
Um, I enjoyed it. Yeah, I mean, budget wise, it was manufacturers are throwing loads of money at it, but yeah, that was a good time. That was really good, and the sounds as well.
Yeah,
I quite often go onto YouTube and put in BTCC 1990 or 1991, 92, looking at just the sort of the 2 or 3 minute videos to get the battles that you watch, which
yeah.
are famed at that sort of time.
Mm. Yeah, absolutely. Well, would you say, British touring cars? I think it's good because the racing is, always close. Are there any, in particular seasons that stand out to you from over the years? Because we've had some brilliant championship battles, especially in, recent years as well.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have any particular favourites. I'm not a historical person. I don't go into sort of right. This is the finest part of the series, the championship. I enjoyed watching Andrew Jordan back in 2013 taking his championship.
Yeah,
There at Brands Hatch watching that. It's great to see Colin Turkington taking his 4 championship titles. I don't think he'll get a 5th one this year. Again, I've enjoyed the 92 one with Tim Harvey as well.
yeah.
There's nothing in particular that grabs me.
Yeah,
Just the whole general package
yeah.
that I enjoy.
Obviously, I'll ask about British touring car chat fairly soon. Just before doing that, have you got a favourite driver? I suppose you've got to kind of be fairly even with it all on the chat, but have you got a favourite driver?
Yeah, I'll get on with Creasy.
Yeah,
I met him and got to know him in 2019 when I joined up with one of the teams working for one of the teams there. He was racing with Team Hard. Jack Goff I support as well. Those are the two main ones. But yeah, they're all good. They're all good. They all stop and chat when you're popping the awning.
Yeah.
So it's a good bunch of people.
Absolutely. I think that is, at the end of the day, that is what's, as well as for close racing, British touring cars is all about getting to know people, and the drivers are really really cool. You can talk to them and access, see the team, see the cars up close. What would you say is your favorite thing about British touring cars?
It is. It's getting up close.
Yeah.
I mean, I joined with Tim Hard, as you may know, that back in 2019 in the hospitality side of things. But being part of the team, being close to the cars, popping in the garage, having a nose around, and things like that. That's what I enjoy. That's a good feeling to be part of the team.
Absolutely. Well, I've got to ask about British Touring Car Chat. How did that actually start?
I was in another, basically in another touring car group of a very similar name, Touring Car Talk. Yeah. And I just thought to myself one day out of the blue, I thought, I might set myself up a group.
Yeah.
So I put a BTCC, British Touring Car Chat, created a group, added a load of my Facebook friends, and left it.
Yeah.
And then sort of 6 months down the line, getting a few group members joining, and I thought I'd better look at it a little bit more, and started to sort of post a little bit more, and then we done a giveaway on that year at Christmas when we had about 700 members. I gave away a Mike Bushell canvas.
Yeah,
Tony Gillam actually done the live draw for me on that one, and we've just been plugging away with it. And here we are, 9,500 members.
Yeah, I was going to say,
9,600.
It's crazy, because I was going to say, how long ago did it actually start?
We started it. So I started that one back in January 2018. So it'll be 4 years in January.
It's incredible, really, because sorry, Kevin.
Yeah, no, it's been growing month on month.
Yeah.
It's tailed off slightly, but actually when I look at the stats on it as well, there's still I think 150 members joining in the last sort of month. There's always a regular few. We turn away a lot as well.
Yeah.
We do look at on join requests, we look at who wants to join, look at their profiles, just to see. And we do block people, we do decline people as well. I've got 3 other guys that help run it as well, as best as they can, and we try and keep it as friendly as possible. But occasionally on a race weekend, it's a bit more difficult.
Yeah.
But that's what we do. I think it was at January this year. It was at 8,000, just around 8,000 on our 3rd birthday.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping to hit 10,000 by the end of this year.
Yeah.
Or by January.
Well, it's looking good. Obviously, recently hit 9.7K, I think it was. Did you ever? That's incredible. Did you ever expect it to get that far?
No, not at all. Never in a million years, Louis. I done it because I enjoy it. When I bought, without going into too much detail, I brought somebody else on board, which was a slightly wrong move, I think, which caused me a lot of grief. I always remember the time back then, sort of 3 years ago, when I used to get messages and things like that, which was quite a challenging, difficult thing for me. Just a lot of hassles.
Yeah.
But I just, as I've said to people, I get my head down, keep my head down, crack on, do what I'm doing, and here we are.
Yeah.
It's I think it's a good group. It's one that I think is reasonably popular, and it's friendly.
Yeah,
as best as we can be on a weekend anyway.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's always interesting, especially on the weekend, to see everyone sort of debating what's happening on the races. Obviously, as you've said, there's some difficulties with it and some challenges, but at the end of the day, it must be really rewarding to be part of something so cool like this. Yeah,
it's really good. I mean, I never imagined it would be 9,500. I'd never imagined it. I'd have been happy with 1,000.
Yeah,
or 500 even. We try and do a regular thing on a post each week, as you probably noticed. Trying to do it different to other groups, which I think sometimes stands out for us. But again, it just with that comes the time and the effort to run it as well. It's almost like a full-time job.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I was going to say there's lots of, it's not just a Facebook group. There's not just people sharing other people's BTCC content. I've seen you guys, there's, sim race and stuff, group partnerships with other companies and drivers. When did all these other, kind of aspects of a group, start happening really?
I wanted to make it different. So we approached a couple of people anyway. So we've got Motorsport Wall Art, that does the track layouts, the wooden track layouts for the walls. He's come on board with us. We approached one of the sponsors, one of the teams, Team Hard, Auto Bright, about coming on board as a group partner. Scott from Motorsport in Minutes as well, pole position prizes. It's just bringing people on that we've also recently got Toolbox Shop. So they're offering us a discount for group members with a code. So it's all these sort of things that we want to do that hopefully benefit the group members, which is what I wanted to do. It's something different, and it seems to be sort of gone quite well. So.
Absolutely. Well, what's cool about it's not just obviously the focus is British touring cars, but obviously we're very lucky to have, all the support categories on the Toka package. What would you say you enjoyed most out of those championships? Because we are very lucky with them.
Well, I mean, I enjoyed the Clios a lot when they were on board. Max Coates, epic battles in the drive in there. And again, it's the minis. The minis now that's taken over. And they've got a new deal for the next few years as well. I mean, there's such close racing, and obviously we support two drivers that have gone into JCW this year, Lydia and Hannah, which is great as well. But it's such close racing. It's really good, and again, it comes back to the drivers. They're all approachable. The likes of Max, Bradley. Have a chat with Bradley all the time. Ethan Hamilton. They're all great, all great people.
And they're, what I've noticed, because I've been lucky enough to interview quite a lot of them, and they're all sort of, as much as it helps me, it helps them as well, because at the end of the day they're trying to get to British touring cars as well and other championships, so that's really exciting to see as well. It's a good championship. You mentioned earlier it being like a full-time job with all the comments on race day. How would you sum up what the group is like? Because I imagine I've seen on there on race day, it's pretty busy. How difficult is it to keep track of everything and keep it all, I suppose, running smoothly?
Last year, when we first went into lockdown and the season was delayed, we had a lot of challenges. And it's difficult in itself to run the group. And then once you have one person make a comment about a certain driver, and then somebody else doesn't agree with it, and somebody else doesn't agree, and somebody else has an opinion, then it just snowballs. And if we're working at a track, the signal tends to go on the mobile phone as well, and we can't be on it all the time. But last year was particularly tough, and I think that was across all the groups. In all honesty, it was a challenge. But we've changed. When was it? Croft last year had a few difficult times with some people, so we blocked them. In simple terms, just kicked them out, and that was it. But we had some feedback from a couple of group members, which we made what we think is some improvements on how we deal with things on a race weekend. Changed the format slightly, which seems to have worked. And then we used it over the next sort of 3 or 4 race weekends to actually sort of let's trial it, let's see how it goes, and then see if we can improve it even further, which I think it did. And we could control it and monitor it a lot more. We now have it on post approval. At the moment, I can turn it off and turn it on as required. On a race weekend, it's definitely on. But what we trying to do is not get it flooded with certain things. So like the for sale posts, we have a market Monday every week.
Yeah.
We do something for the photographers so they can show off their photos. So we try and keep it with themes. The last two or three rounds has been since we come out of proper lockdown and there's no restrictions.
Yeah.
The last two rounds, honestly, has been fantastic.
Yeah.
Last year I had a couple of race weekends where I turned the comments off of the poster we had for race 1, race 2. I turned it off so that we could actually watch the racing because I was at home, and that worked. So I think sometimes people type something in frustrations or without even thinking, even thinking about things, just type away and that's it, which again winds somebody else up, and then they reply, and before you know it, you've got 20 people almost having a go at each other. But it's the same across other groups. We talk with other admins of other groups. We get on with other people from other groups as well, other pages. We've got Lee from Tin Top Racing. He runs the British Touring Car Talk page. Dave Bohr, he's on the admins. I know the Jeff Army admins as well. Quite funny guys they are. Good bump into them at the track now and again when we see them. But it's tough, but it's got better. So I'm hoping it will keep going that way.
Yeah. At the end of the day, the motorsport community is a good one. It's a funny time, I suppose, for social media. I'm sort of growing up in the thick of it, really. And on one hand, you can look at it and be like, it's great in this way because it just shows how passionate everyone is about, the sport we all love. But then I suppose it can be, I think, especially sort of earlier this year, I noticed it quite a bit, how different, arguments and debates can happen in the comment section. But it's good to see that sort of, I think, as you said, after coming out of lockdown, it's all sort of calmed down a bit. And it's at the end of the day, it's a good community to be part of.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we've got the standard, the neat, Andy Neat comments.
Yeah.
Nick Hamilton comments. I think the Nick's fantastic. We as a group, I made a decision not to. I won't put up with anything negative for Nick.
Yeah.
And one of the reasons is my son has got cerebral palsy.
Yeah.
It's so I can relate to it, and I urge anybody, if you don't think he deserves to be there, go and raise the funds, go and show him how it's done.
Yeah.
But that's the simple answer. People don't agree with that sometimes, but Nick deserves to be there as much as anybody else.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of the hate he gets is aimed towards his brother more than Nick. I think it's just an easy way for people to do it, and I think it's just a little bit of a bullying way of doing things.
Yeah.
Which is why we monitor things. We have keywords on our group as well. So when somebody posts something and they say something, certain keywords will flag up to us, so we can review the comments.
Yeah.
And if it's got anything which it's like swearing, for example, we've got X amount of swear words in our monitoring part, and if there's a swear word, we used to ask people to edit it and give them sort of an hour to change it or a few hours to change it. Now we just delete it. The rule is no swearing. Simple. Yeah. If you can't comment without swearing, comment.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's the time we live in. I just often think, imagine if they'd have had social media in '92 with Soper and Cleland and Harvey. So I think that would have been a very interesting debate as well. But
would have been a good time, wouldn't it?
But we've had a brilliant British touring car season. Ash Sutton leading the way. I won't keep you for too much longer. But what have you made of the season so far?
I think it's good. We've got different race winners. There's a lot of consistencies. Jake Hill, got to mention Jake, Mr. Consistency, doing really well. I do think though, Ash, I think it's if I was a betting man, I'd put Ash on the championship this year. Yeah, I'd like it to go down to the wire. I'd like it to go down right to the last race, the last couple of laps, as it has done in the past before. That to me brings the excitement in. And I'm at the last round this year as well. That's what it will be, hopefully. Fingers crossed.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I'll be at the final round as well, so I'll come and say hello to you. But Ash has been driving brilliantly. Last season, very strong season considering there was lots of, when he signed for Laser Tools, obviously mixed opinions, because obviously that car, looking back a few years, they run it out in 2015 with mixed success. So he drove brilliantly last year. Obviously had a few incidents that maybe put his championship at risk, but I think this year he's driving really well. But I suppose one of the biggest surprises is Tom Ingram. He's right up there. He's only 30 points behind Ash, which new car, new team. Do you think he's still going to be in the running at the end of the season?
Oh yeah, I think it's going to be very close. I do think Ash. I'll put it out there. Ash, I think will win, but it'll be very, very close at the top three, easily, within a few points of each other. But yeah, Ash is definitely gonna take it.
Yeah. Well, looking actually,
he's a peddler, isn't he? That's the thing.
Yeah,
he's in the Subaru as well. He people say, oh, the car, the engine, the boost. No, he's just quick, damn quick.
Yeah.
So
as Tim Harvey often says, he's an exciting driver to watch. But looking beyond the finale at Brands Hatch, we've obviously got the hybrid regulations coming in next season.
Yeah.
Is this something you're looking forward to? Because obviously, I think a lot of people it's mixed with. I'm really looking forward to seeing the new era of British touring cars.
Yeah, I think it's the way it's going anyway, isn't it? Hybrid cars. Eventually it might go full electric.
Yeah,
I don't know. In 20 years' time, who knows? We don't know the future, but hybrid, push to pass. I think it's going to add a little bit of a different edge to things on a lap as well.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to it. It'll be certainly interesting to see. And obviously we've got the Cosworth car at Silverstone, haven't we?
Yeah.
It's going to be racing there. I believe it's going to be a pit lane start.
Yeah.
If it qualifies at the front, it'll be starting from the pit lane anyway.
Yeah.
No points. But that'll be interesting. I'm hoping to be at Silverstone. I'm not 100% sure yet, but it would be nice to be there just to see how it goes.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Well, I'm an Andrew Jordan fan, so we're off to Silverstone, and it'll be interesting, as you said, to see the hybrid car out. I think what I'm most interested to see is qualifying, and see where it stacks up. And we've got plenty to look forward to, and any sort of era of British touring cars, the racing's been close, so I'm not worried about that at all.
It's really good. I mean, it's nice to watch it on a weekend when you're not working as well.
Yeah.
You actually sit and watch it and enjoy it. You get to see the whole lap. If we're at the track working, we sometimes have the TSL timing on, and we might pop into the hospitality just to watch it on the TV.
Yeah.
And it's good. But just changing the subject slightly, I was at Silverstone with Jack when he got his first race win in the CC. The garage was absolutely electric.
Yeah.
It was amazing. What a great feeling to be a part of that.
Yeah, I think that's the thing. It must be really cool to moments like that when such a cool event, to be part of a team like that. That must be really exciting. And hopefully lots more to come in the future. The Cupra's been very strong this year. It's looking good.
It's been. I think it's getting better. Jack's.
Yeah.
I think it's Jack said as well, and it's the qualifying pace they haven't quite gotten in the race pace. It comes along.
Yeah.
I look at the TSL timing, just to see where the lap times are, sectors and things like that. I'm interested to look at that a little bit. So like the last round, he was, I think race 2 was a bit off pace slightly, but actually on the third race he was 2/10 off on the quickest times, which is good to see. I like the Cupras. They're nice, nice looking cars. I've even sat in one. I can fit in one. Tony's not going to give me a drive yet, though.
Yeah, well, we might have to get some sponsors together and some funds together first. So we might have a whole, BTC Chat livery over one of the Cupras next year. Watch for space.
We've got Simon. Simon, my admin's got the logo on the sim cars that he.
Yeah,
races.
Absolutely. Yeah.
But that's why we put together the sim racing post you mentioned earlier, because a lot of people were posting about sim racing.
Yeah.
I don't do it. I'm terrible at driving on a PlayStation.
Yeah.
With a hand controller. Probably even with a sim setup, to be honest.
Yeah.
But but Simon does it. Wayne, they do it all the time, and a lot of people were posting. So in the end, I said let's put something together for a Sunday, and call it Sim Racing Sunday.
Absolutely,
and, it seems to be quite popular. So we'll keep doing that for a while.
Yeah, it's just good fun, really, and obviously a lot cheaper, and obviously a lot, the audience grew massively. I think last year with professional drivers and everything with lockdown. So that's always good to see, and I think that's going to continue growing with British Motorsport and British Touring Cars with the game coming out next year. So that's, I think, something for us sim racers to look forward to as well.
Yeah, yeah, should be good. I mean, I've got project cars. But I've not been on. I'm a terrible driver. Right? I enjoy it, and then I get bored of it.
Yeah,
it'd be nice to try on a proper sim setup with the steering wheel and pedals and everything, just to see what it's like. See if I can do any better. But,
absolutely.
Probably not. I'll leave it to the experts.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you very much for coming on the show for a chat. It's been great to talk to you, and obviously keep up with the good work with the group. And obviously, if anyone watching at home hasn't joined the group yet, and there's a fan of British Touring Cars and the Toka package, make sure you do go and check out the group and join. Yeah,
thanks for inviting us, Lewis. Much appreciated.
No worries at all. All right, then. Well, absolutely. Right. Enjoy the rest of the season, and hopefully see you at a race fairly soon.
Hopefully we'll catch up. Silverstone or Brands.
Absolutely. All right, then. Thank you very much.
All right. Take care, Louis. See you later.
Thank you.